Hi, everyone. This is Ev Zervadakis. And what I'm going to do today is we're going to do a forecast reading for New Year's Day at exactly, and I'm going to point to you because I'm using a shared screen, January 1st, 2022 at 12 midnight. And it is at the Virginia Beach location over here. It's just technical talk, but I want to show you because I'm a visual person, and maybe this will help you understand a little bit more about astrology. So this is like a reading as if that day was a person. So we could do readings for people, or we could do readings for, excuse me, for events or times, so we're going to do the event of New Year's Day. And this is just a possible interpretation. So the astrology chart here is a symbolic representation of the sky, the moment at this time here, or the moment of your birth or particular event. So this is going to show us exactly where all the planets are. And then the interpretation has to do with these angles that the planets all over here make to one another. And that is the deciphering of the language. So it's very interesting and a little bit tedious. But my spin on it is like, I use the law of attraction, and I'm very mindful of the power of suggestion. In other words, I'm going to be very careful as far as putting things out there that we could create, because I suggested something when I worked in the medical profession. I remember back in the day, they would say, well, you only have so much time to live. And unfortunately, they were looking at the wrong chart, told a healthy person that they had so much time to live. And guess what? The healthy person died. And the person that they didn't tell had a very grave illness and could possibly die, but no one knows when you're going to die. Only himself, the maker, knows when that is going to happen. That is just, these are all my personal beliefs. However, being an ethical astrologer, I'm very mindful of putting these intentions out there and suggestions. So if I'm going to suggest something, I'm going to suggest the general energies, and the energies of the planets are they have certain characteristics. However, it's the angles that the energies make that will make them either very easy to get through or it could be a challenge. So in this representation here, we have red, which is challenging. Green is somewhere in the middle, and then or minor aspects. And then the blue are the energies that flow together, and maybe no work involved. So that's just a general outlook. So let's dive into this so I could tell you my impression of what's going to happen here with this new year. Well, I see here the emphasis is right here in this area, which is the fourth house. That has to do with our home life, the roots, because we're at the root of the chart. And it has to do with Capricorn, which has to do with business. It has to do with also responsibilities and what we can do as far as what our responsibilities are. And there's so much more. But I'm looking at the planet Pluto and Mercury, and Mercury here, the yellow, and right here, Venus, which is retrograde. And what I see here is that we're going to have some irreversible changes, drastic changes that have to do with or could do with money or romance, relationships, and communication. So there's going to be a big emphasis here. Plus, the sun is nearby, and that's where we're going to shine. So we're called to look at our lives and know that a change is coming, but it's irreversible change. And the way we think, and maybe the way we deal with our money or our food. Look at the food chain. I'm sure we're all thinking about that. Well, I'm here to maybe suggest something positive. Uh, you know, these sicknesses out there, I think the number one killer, it's not COVID, but it's, I believe, heart disease, and it's been that way for a while, and or cancer, one or the other, but both are related to food. Okay. So if food, and the ancients said it, food is the medicine, what kind of food are we eating? Let's take a look at that. Let's take control of what we can control and know what we can't control. Because this is all about control over here with these symbols. All right. And also over here in the next house, this is all about control here. But in humanitarian efforts and also individualistic control, the individuals, the mavericks out there. So we're going to do that creatively. Also children, the children, I believe, in this new year, this generation, they're going to be far more independent and independent thinking. Okay. So getting back to our food, we can control that. How much of our food and how much of the food that you're eating is processed? How good is that for you? Are you contributing to chronic illness? Just questions that you need to ask yourself in the new year. I mean, yeah, it's a good idea to, put your intentions out there and look at, well, what's our resolution? And the other thing too is we got to remember that, and I'm going to move the sun forward, because on the 2nd of January, we're going to have a new moon. So we're going to go into a new moon intention. All right. And I speak a lot about that. I have videos on it. I did blogging on it. So that way you could choose the way you want to learn about these ways that you could change your life. So is it doom and gloom? No, I see changes coming that are inevitable. And I also see here the healing and the suffering. So we've suffered enough, relationships, society in general. It's a new beginning. We're in the pioneer work of healing. And you could say that with energy healing, there's a lot of work being done there that's scientifically proven. And even the law of attraction, thoughts are things, and words have vibration, and they do influence our future. So I speak a lot about that. I believe that. My first speech in school was The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. So that's always been in my heart. And that's what I project out there to everyone else. So yes, we're having some major changes, and it will affect our resources, and there will be some sudden changes over here with other people's money, and that could be banking, finances, 501s and 401s, or whatever you call them things. And the top of the chart is our nurturing home life. So we're called to take action and responsibility with our home life and make nurturing and protecting our family first priority. The start of the chart here is also Libra, which has to do with balance and harmony. So yeah, here's our drive and assertion, and it's going to be fire, Sagittarius. So we will be fighting for what we believe in and what we think is right, because that's what Sagittarius is. And at that moment, it's very close to the moon, which makes things emotional, and it's also a motivating factor. It's our reigning need, as Noel Till used to say. God rest his soul. So behind all that, we have all that going on that day. And we also have good old Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the planet of spirituality, but it's also escapism. There's two sides of every energy. You could either take drugs to escape, or you could meditate to escape. So it's your choice. There's no right and there's no wrong. It's just how you want to do it, and it's your life. There's free will with these charts. These are just possibilities and opportunities. So if you're feeling this this confusion and chaos and delusion, it's happening on a daily basis, and it could even do with our health and wellness, because with all that's going on out there, yes, it can affect our mental health, and that is my opinion. However, we do have right here 0 degrees in Pisces. Anytime there's a 0 degrees in a chart, especially for forecasting, that means it's a new beginning, because we start at 0. So it takes on that Aries energy, which is like, let's begin, let's start. And Jupiter has to do with expansion. It has to do with it has to do with ideals and everything Sagittarius, which is over here. So, and our beliefs as well, you know. So our beliefs are going to be more spiritual now. And just remember that we have entered the age of Aquarius, which is 2,500 something years. And we are in the beginning of it. We're just birthing the age of Aquarius. And as you can see, we talk about in astrology, the outer and the inner planets. The outer planets move ever so slowly, like Pluto, for example. For Pluto to come right back here where it started from today, or January 1st, would take 248 years. Okay. And that's another subject. Be on the lookout for the Pluto return. Pluto is going to come back to where it started when this country was born. And that's coming up real fast. I believe it's this year sometime. So that's going to be very interesting. Now, how do these astrologers predict? It's a law of average, and they look at, well, what happened the last time that there was a Pluto return in other countries, or another hard angle. When I say hard angle, it could be a square or an opposition, 90 degrees or 180 degrees. So 90 degrees is like where the arrow is, 180 degrees is this way, straight across. So anyhow, 180 degrees means a tug of war feeling. So anyhow, Pluto is very dramatic, very earth changing, doesn't go back. When they discovered Pluto, it was during the time of the atomic bomb. So yeah, that was bad. It annihilated Nagasaki, very, very bad. But then after that episode, what happened was it was the end of the war. And if you look at Japan now, it is a wonderful place. It is just super technologically advanced, not what it was in the past. So I'm not recommending that, we do bad things. However, for every good and every bad, there's something equal. We could go look at both sides. So we're not here to judge. Also, when I do readings, it's a no judgment zone. That's out of the picture. So that's the new beginning. And then over here, just to show you, we have a little grid over here, aspect grid. And so you don't have to try to figure it out. You could just go down the line and say, oh, there's going to be a square, there's a little bit of challenges with ourselves and who we are in our ideals, okay, in our home life. So we go like that. And that's another form of interpretation. So all these little things over here, these little symbols have meanings. And then yours truly puts the meanings together. There's another way here that we could look at, let's say I want to just look at the moon, or let me look at Pluto. Let's see what's going on. Well, Pluto is involved with 4 sharing of energies. And so it's a purpose thing also. We're going to find our purpose, and it's going to be what we came to this planet for, and we take what we've already learned, and we're going to make a great transitional change. And that's what this is about here. One other thing I did not mention is right here we have a square. See these red lines? And that means it's going to be, there's a lot of tension here. So there's grand crosses and T-squares, all having to do with healing and home life and career or our social status. So it'll be something interesting to look at. And also has to do with the sun, which is our ego. I hope that you have enjoyed this part of it. Now we're going to move to, so you get to see, we're going to move to the new moon, which is, let me see where my notes are. The new moon, and that is going to be on the 22nd. And we're going to go to the minutes, and you could see how these planets move. So this moon, when it's a new moon, it goes together with the sun. It's called conjunct. So we're going to look here at, you can watch the moon and the sun moving, and everything else is moving as well. So it's going to be 22 degrees. So we could move it a little faster. And it's in the afternoon at 1:30, I think, around there, 1:33, if I'm not mistaken. We're still in the early morning. You can see the time changing. And okay, so here's the moon and the sun, and it's 12 degrees, 19 minutes, 12 degrees, 20 minutes. They're almost exact. Now they're exact. So this is exactly when the new moon is, and that's where I call for you to do your new moon intention. I have video on that, how to do it. I have a blog on that. It's your choice. And then you could use the energies that are out there in the sky and help you with that intention. Now, if you take a quick look, you could see that the patterns of these angles changed in a matter of 2 days. So if you got anything from this video, just know that these energies are always changing. So I have a lot of people ask me, when am I going to get married? When am I going to get a career change? Well, guess what? There are multiple times a year that you will have opportunities for these changes. And because the planets are constantly moving. For example, I'm just going to show you, we're going to go from right now, and you can see how the planets are going to move. And they're just moving day by day by day. And you see, and they're always changing angles, and they're moving from one part of the house to another house. These pie divisions are houses, and then they get close to one another, then they get far away from one another. And as a sneak preview, at the end of the month in January, we're going to have not only a Venus retrograde when they have the little RX, we're going to have a Mercury retrograde. So never panic during the Mercury retrograde. It's just when you hear the word retrograde, just say, reflect, review, not the best time for action, because you might just have to do it again, because it's a time to contemplate it, to think. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share this video with any other people that you think might be interested in astrology and get a better understanding how I work, and subscribe to the channel so you know every time I put out a new video, because I am a mutable, strong mutable person. That means that I'm very random. You know, if I have a moment in time and I'm inspired, I'm going to create a video. but I do try to get things out in time, before the new year. So I am very mindful of my time. I have Saturn in the first house, which makes me somewhat responsible. So I thank you so much. Have a happy, happy new year from me to you. All the best. Remember, you could create your future just by the thoughts that you have. Take care. Thank you very much and have a happy new year.